This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Air on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
Folks, welcome to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
Well, young lady, you brought another very, very special guest in the house.
I did. She is not only a racer, she's a car owner, a promoter, and a fan of everything sprint cars.
You noticed that, huh?
Yes.
And she's just a young whippersnapper.
Yes, please welcome Amanda Roberson.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, doing well, thanks. How are you?
We're just doing hunky-dory. We always can't wait for this segment to come up. And so you're knee-deep in sprint cars?
Yeah.
What do
Good thing they don't have a wing right hit my head.
I was going to say, what are you doing in a sprint car? What got you into those?
Well, they're cool. They go fast. They make a lot of noise.
Was that the first thing you got into that went fast?
No. So
What'd you start with?
I raced a microsprint out of Verona from 04 to 07.
But those are pretty quick.
They're pretty quick. They're the biggest bang for your buck.
Our listeners, what's a micro?
They are 600cc. You see those like crotch rocket motorcycles out on the freeway and they crash. We go steal their engines.
Dwarf driver, I don't want him to crash. No. I just want him to move into something different. But I know what you're saying.
Amanda's being honest.
No, I know what you're saying.
Call those donor bikes, right?
Yeah. Okay, so they run a 600.
Yep.
And what do they look like?
They're minis. They're
just a
they're
mini.
Smaller than a lightning
But
sprint.
what got you into it? Did your dad,
My
your
dad's
mom?
best friend, and who's now our car chief, they became best friends, and we'd always go out to Verona and sit on the then hay bales in the grandstands and had a really great time. So my dad and Clint Newman became super great friends, and I, of course, wanted to do it. So the deal was my parents would own the engines and I'd buy the cars. Well, Clint and I made a great deal, and I don't know how many cars I actually bought from him, but
probably none.
I worked at his car wash and stuff, so I'm sure it got worked off. So I owned the cars, and my dad always owned the engines, and so we raced a few seasons out at Verona. And
How old were you when you first started racing?
04, so 13, 14 years old, up till I was 17, almost 18.
So you stayed with it.
Stayed with it. Then I turned fan. Then I was like, okay,
Why?
What's your next step? I raced out at Verona, and like, what's the next step? Do I
Paris.
really need to? Yeah. Do I really need to jump in and kill myself at that? Age?
Do you think Paris is a little fast?
Yes. It's scary fast.
Stupid.
That's how I have described Cocoa Paw. Scary fast.
Yes. So stayed a fan, got connected with a bunch of people, and just would go in the pits and hang out. And I'm sure Clint and I, we were feeling pretty good one night, and we're like, this is stupid. Why are we in the pits and not working on our own car? Let's go. So we looped Tony Everhart into allowing me to drive for him, and I started racing back out in Paris. 2017, I ran a bunch of practice laps, and then 2018, I ran half the Young Guns series, and Tony just supported us and gave me a great car, and then we switched cars, still a Tony Everhart car in 2019, and just started everything clicking. And so my boyfriend and I, he's always had sprint cars, and he's like, let's do our own thing. Like, we got enough stuff. Let's own our own car. So at the end of 2019, we gave Tony back his car, and we won the championship in the car that he's actually been running out at Verona Speedway. So kind of cool.
Oh. Yeah.
And then so Chris, my boyfriend, and I, we, built our car and got it all together, and we just like, why go to Paris? Let's get Verona going back up again. And when I was a kid, I remember actually going and watching like the SCRA races there with 30 cars out at Verona Speedway.
I believe that.
It was crazy.
Totally.
It was so amazing.
So now you're a part of the craziness.
I'm part of the craziness, knee deep into it. It's day to day. Don't go a day without thinking about racing.
It's not just me.
No.
My
That's
boyfriend thinks it's just me and I'm the oddball, but he just hasn't met others.
No.
Yeah, but what does
it's a
he
drug.
think every day? Guitars and music. It's identical.
Yeah.
So that's
just
his
you
love
go
and
That's
fast.
a different vice.
You just
Racing racing is
faster.
your love and passion.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah.
It's my drug of choice,
It
is what I
is.
say.
Oh, for sure.
So I saw you in a sprint car maybe a month or so ago. You were in it at practice. Is that the car you're talking about?
Yes, the Black 77 DRC. I practiced in June. That was June
Okay.
because June was the only race I ran this season.
Yeah, that was my first time back out.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that was June.
And
it went good.
it went well, and you
Yeah.
raced.
It did.
And then I saw you out there last week, but you weren't in it.
So my boyfriend and I and Clint Newman, we were all in the car randomly throughout the night. Chris went out the first.
Really?
Chris went out
That's cool.
first to shake down the car because we're getting it ready for Clint Newman, who's going to be actually driving the car in August.
Oh, next weekend?
Yes, August 7th,
Okay.
this Saturday.
Mhm.
Yeah. Gosh, it's so I
know,
can't believe
it's
the
less than a
year.
week
I can't
away.
believe it's like I was stressing about the first race in May. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be the last race before I know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Clint is going to be driving the car in August. So we took him out and he ran a bunch of practice sessions, and then I got in the car at the last session and just putted around and got my jollies off.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's even that's even fun.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
better than just riding a couch.
Yeah, so I get to play car owner, car chief, all by myself in the August race.
Oh, I didn't
because-
throw in chief in the introduction.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's
I think
okay.
It was
It's-
promoter,
it's,
racer, owner, and
You know, my boyfriend gets
Fan.
off lucky. He goes like traveling with all these midget team, national midget team with the USAC guys. And he's like here for the first and last race of the season. And I'm like, hey, I think it'd be great to take Clint racing. He's always been our car chief since day one. And this is our way of like giving back to him and letting him go. Just get, have a great time and experience the sprint car at Brona, not Paris. And Brona's like, he's the originator of Verona. So it's just so cool to give it back to him. But I'm like, where's my boyfriend in this? Now it's all on me. Crud.
Well, you can take all the credit when he's got a grin from ear to ear. Do you know what his mindset is right now?
Oh, he's going
Go-
crazy.
Crazy good?
Crazy good. Like, we're going to be rolling out tires probably tomorrow night, doing our stagger game.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to her in the green room. After this show, I'm going to take off the dress here and put on the work clothes and get
Yeah.
underneath. Yeah.
Yeah, so tires have been sitting out in the sun, so they're nice and soft, so we can pop them on the wheels.
Oh, yeah, they'll be nice and soft and pliable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got the drum of methanol coming in this week, and we'll load up like Thursday night to head out to the track Friday night.
Yeah, you're
Friday
doing
for
practice.
practice.
Oh, so they are having practice. That's
Yes,
good.
yes.
And I asked Dirt Dude, is it going to be like the last practice? So if there are any drivers out there that plan on going to practice and you weren't there last time, it's run a little bit different now.
They have an ambulance out there.
Yeah, they have an ambulance, so now you can go out with other cars of your like division.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
is that
so
why?
cool.
Yeah.
I got to go out there with Mikey most of the time, and it was super fun because we could chase each other around.
So that's how you were able to, because you have an ambulance.
yes, that's
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
And
so the Cocopa crew came up. Brad Whitfield came up
Yes.
and kind of ran the show, and I guess they're going to do practice the same way.
Do they-
Dirt Dude seemed to think so.
if he
Awesome.
runs it, that's what they're going to do.
It's
I think so.
super
Did he
cool.
bring the ambulance?
No, it's through the normal AMR,
Just-
I think, or
okay,
whatever.
okay.
But we don't normally have an ambulance out there
Right,
at practice, so
right.
we have to run one car at a time.
Mhm.
And so I had a friend out there in, I guess it's like an IMCA mod, like the super grocery getter looking cars.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I know exactly what you're
And
talking.
so he loved it because it was the first time he'd ever been in a car. And like you go out there by yourself and you think you're just like balls to the wall, like slinging dirt and stuff. And you're like, you're going like 10 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
what
like,
was my time? You don't want to know.
like 2
Yeah,
minutes
right.
and 30 seconds. Keep it up. But he's like, it was so cool because
Yeah.
I was like actually running with people and like got the edge. And like he said he kind of knew what to expect on Saturday. So
yeah.
it's a super great addition
I
to Verona.
like it a lot. I just didn't know. So I told you in the green room, I didn't show up with my race receiver in my ear, during when the kids went on, the junior drivers, then I threw it in because I always bring it wherever I go. But I love it. I
Yeah.
just wasn't expecting it. So
Yeah.
I actually think this is just the start of greatness at Verona.
There you go.
I
I agree with you 100%.
I think, Verona Speedway's like always just been, it's, down in Verona, it's hot.
Now
like,
it's-
whatever.
it's
we got
coming
6 or
together.
7 classes running, da 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 da. Doesn't matter. We still get done by 10:04
Yeah, exactly.
at the latest.
Yeah.
And it is only getting more and more and more organized
Yeah,
as the
it
season
really
goes.
is. All right, let's take a quick break. You're listening to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1 AM 1170.
the answer.
All right, folks, welcome to Racer Radio, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
Well, Dirt Dude, we gave him the day off. He's going to work on getting his voice in better shape for this up-and-coming weekend. And we have our very, very, very special guest, Amanda Roberson. Roberson without a T.
No T, too cheap.
Just didn't like that T.
Yeah, when I introduced you the time before, I looked like 3 times. Okay, no T. There's no T. There's no T.
No T. No T.
But then it had to make you think how to say it, right?
I thought
Yeah.
Roberson.
Just
Simple.
Yeah,
Simple.
simple.
Yeah.
Keep it
So
simple.
there's a big race coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
August 7th, sure is.
Are you driving or sitting?
No, Clint Newman will be in the car.
Is.
Clint
Newman.
Is that your boyfriend?
No, my gosh, he has not been listening. He's been a part of her racing
I know, I
career
just
for
see
a
if she
year. Sounds
I
like
just want to
decades.
see if she was listening.
No.
Yeah.
Car chief.
Car chief.
Bubba's
Boyfriend
grandfather.
is out of the state, right?
Yeah, Chris is in Indy getting ready to drive to Pennsylvania for National Midget Week. And
Oh,
yeah.
is that your boyfriend?
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
boyfriend.
That's the real boyfriend.
That's the real one. The
Is-
one
That's
and only.
the one that pays for dinner.
Is he making a career out of
He has.
racing?
Yeah, he builds engines up at Ed Pink Racing Engines. And then,
Ah.
yeah, so he got looped into doing the midget deal with a sponsor of ours, Jerome Rodella Fabrication.
Yeah.
And so he does the engines, and then Jerome is the car chief on the midget, and they get to go. They call them like the rock stars. They're on tour.
Yeah.
Does he put any-
Yeah.
so he could put a little magic in his own car or your
He
car.
does. He does. He puts it in our car.
And
That's
just
for
doesn't
sure.
Why
tell
wouldn't
anybody.
No. So yeah, it's like
we
our
gotta
baby.
get him. We got to get him in sometime.
When he's not on tour.
Well, when he's not on tour, I mean, because the only reason I bring it up is because I just had UCSD an
Oh, yeah.
engineering
Yeah.
class in the first hour. I think letting somebody talk about engine building,
Oh, it's crazy.
what a career!
It's such
that
a
could
great
be.
career. And then like go up to the engine shop, like it looks like a hospital. It's
Oh, I
so
know.
clean. It's so beautiful. They're so meticulous. Like it's probably why our car takes so long to get ready because it
Well,
has to be perfect.
Well, yeah, down here, RC Motors is the same way. You can
Yeah.
walk into his shop, you can eat off of any
Yeah,
part of it. It's that
amazing.
clean.
And that shop's been around forever.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's now owned by
Ed
Tom
Pink?
Malloy. Yeah, Ed was the original of
Right.
it, and then now it's owned by Tom Malloy, who does trench touring, who's also one of our main series sponsors.
What is up with these trench guys? More trench guys sponsor sprint cars than
They
anybody
love
else.
it. Well, so actually, so Kevin Malloy is Tom's son, and he does a few sprint cars out at Paris. Tom is the father, and he does the midget gig is Tom's program. And then recently, Ryan, the youngest Malloy, there's a gaggle of them. I can't even keep track. But Ryan's the youngest, and he's actually stepped up to like get his foot in the door and throw some money out at the sprint cars, local grassroots level. So
I'll
kind
be
of cool.
there.
So yeah, trench touring helps us out a tremendous amount. We have Jimmy Keys Racing, who's like Keys Brothers Racing. He's been just like a fan for many, 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 many years. Like, and he'll just like send me a message and just cough it up and be like, "Here you go. Please put my money in." And
Wow.
we have Bulldog Towing, who's come on board to do. At select races, we're offering tow money. So, like this race, we're not offering tow money, but our October race will be offering tow money. And Bulldog Towing out of Chula Vista, they coughed up that sponsorship, so they provide me $100 bills to hand to people that have towed.
The farthest tow.
Well, no, just 50 miles from the track.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Have you not seen a prettier tow truck than
Bulldog is amazing.
Well, I used to tow in the military. In fact, I was at West Escondido, and one of the rigs had come in, and I just had to pull the guy aside and tell him how gorgeous his truck was, and
Yeah.
showed him my little Toyota tow truck.
So Bulldog, and then we have some other good, cool looking trucks. Brewer Crane,
Oh yeah,
they've come on board also to sponsor every one of our races. So Brewer, and then Cheers of Ramona. If you want to get a good burger, go see Cheers. They actually sponsor our Hard Charger Award every race.
well, it's about time somebody got a food sponsor.
yeah.
Don't I talk
Yeah.
about that all the time?
You do. In fact, today you did. I'm pretty sure I heard you
Oh, you
tell on
noticed that?
Yak
Oh,
Radio.
yeah.
And then, so another cool thing, like I just want to give racers money, and believe it or not, it is so hard to hand out money. Like I'm like, come race with me. I'll give you $50 just for showing up at the drivers' meeting. I won't. Logan Seavey's dog Soup sends me money. It's
Yeah.
probably like money his dad's been winning. Logan actually drives the midget for Tom Malloy. He has a sprint car ride, Silver Crown ride, and he lives back in Indy. And he has this like ginormous Old English sheepdog. His name's Soup, and Soup gives me
Soup sends you the money.
Soup sends me the money.
Whoa.
$50
Okay.
every driver's meeting, and
Guess you have to get one of
yeah.
them.
and I pull out a name. You can't win it twice, but I pull out a name and hand the guy $50 from Soup.
So is this happening this weekend? Any of this that you've been bringing up?
$50, yeah.
Okay.
$50
Well, there's on
will
the
be there.
table. What's on the table?
Oh, man.
$50 cash. What's that going
What's
to?
this
Do you know
gonna
yet?
go for?
Whatever you want it for.
All right, so we got $50 more from Racer Radio.
There you go.
It's $1,000 to win. Probably going to be about $120 to start the main, between bonus cash and what the track's paying. $50 hard charger and $50 lucky dog.
And explain to the listeners why you do this.
Because we want sprint cars, 360s, and 410 non-wing cars in San
And there's
Diego.
not a lot
okay.
of money in racing.
No, you can
No.
go run Paris and go run USAC with 410s, and but they don't have a designated 360 class. And Verona being the size it is,
Perfect.
it's perfect. Yes, bring your 410 out. I really want 360s, but I want 410s because, these guys, I'm getting USAC drivers. I'm getting Trent Williams. I'm getting Vern Sweeney. My philosophy is you're only as good as you race against.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So the 360 guys, we got Tyler Hatzikian calling in tonight, right?
3:45.
Perfect.
Yes.
So
Stay tuned.
he is this oh my gosh, sprint car fan turned driver. He has a 360, but he's racing against Vern Sweeney, Trent Williams, and he's running up with them. So, and then we have Alec Bender. So we have these big USAC names coming to our little grassroots track.
Right.
And at the end of the night, we'll still have 6 or 7 360 cars.
Yeah.
So, and it just gives them an opportunity to race
Well,
close
it's
to
like
home.
NASCAR and Xfinity.
Yeah, exactly.
It gives I know nobody likes Kyle Busch running in the Xfinity series, but the lower drivers love it
it
because
gives them
they're
something to
going
do.
against the
Yeah.
top drawer car and driver.
Yeah.
And I think it makes you a better driver.
For sure.
When
For
you
sure.
can follow, he's a little grumpy, he needs some anger management, but if he ever got through that, you can't ask for anything
Yeah, and
better.
if you do a nice move on him, and then his crew's talking about you. That
Yeah.
happened with, I always bring up, sorry listeners, but Darren Brown back at Tulsa Shootout, he did a nice slide on Christopher Bell. And we're like, they were talking
Oh, yeah.
about that. He slipped right in front of
It
him. And
doesn't
we're
matter.
like, yay.
Good, bad.
Yeah.
As long as they're talking about
Yeah,
you, they're
as
thinking
long
about
as-
you.
well-
And there's a lot of buzz going on right now about Verona. So good. Bring it.
Dale Earnhardt used to say that.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say about me, as long as you're talking about me.
It's
Whether
true.
I'm the Terminator or Intimidator or, just a good guy. He just loved to be talked about now.
So
By the way, Rick Sanford, one of our sponsors, just called in, and we're going to have to do a boat show. Hydro races coming in September.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put them on. But that's the other thing I want to do for you, too,
yeah,
Little Miss Promoter, is get your car on KUSI TV.
we should probably do that before the October 2nd race.
Yes, and I will give you a business card before you leave so that you can email me for a
Email
date.
him.
I got some time.
often.
We got some time off between this race and the last race this season, which is October 2nd, because our normal races are 1,000 to win, but we want to do it big, so it's going to be about $2,000 to win, and then we'll have a 360 bonus of $500 because I want those 360 guys to come out and put some heat on the 410s.
So I'm looking here for this Saturday, August 7th at Verona. I'm going to read just for the listener's sake, spectators, IMCA modified, 1,000 to win. IMCA Sport Mods, IMC Sport Compacts, 40 laps. Okay.
Wow.
Pure Stocks, Dwarf Cars. Now I see 360/410 wingless sprints. Are they racing at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh,
Open,
okay.
open competition, no rules. I don't care what you bring. Just make sure your safety equipment.
Really, it's basically run what you brought.
Run what you brung. If you got a 305, you got a 360, you got a 410. I'm not a fan of gasoline, so I expect you guys all to be on methanol.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
okay. I wonder if they're selling it at the track.
I don't believe they are, but we all have drums in our trailer,
Okay.
and we can take care of people
throwing
that
it out.
need fuel.
Find Amanda. And what did you say? 77? What was your
77 car.
77. Black?
Black.
Okay.
You know where you park normally?
So the sprint cars, actually, we all park up top in the pit. So if you go to Verona, there's
It's the third tier.
It's the third tier, exactly. It's the third tier, and all the sprint cars are up there. So, and I'm gonna actually try and work with the track this week. We got some swag that we want to maybe take some of the drivers up to the grandstands and throw some swag out.
That's
And
cool.
that'll
And
be
for
cool.
spectators, after the last checkered
Pits are open.
Yeah, come on out,
Yeah.
especially if they're ending at 10.
Yeah.
Come on out.
Get autographs, get
Yeah,
your kids'
come on
picture
up.
taken in the car.
There's like
Yeah.
a lot of the sprint car drivers and the modified drivers, and I'm sure the dwarf carts. We all have swag.
Yeah. Are you running this weekend?
I plan on running this weekend. Yes.
Good. I'll be able to watch.
Yeah, it's a different mindset when you race
Oh, yeah,
versus when you
definitely.
watch, for
Oh,
sure.
yes.
I did want to also acknowledge the Lightning Wing Sprints will be there, and of course the Mini Dwarfs and Junior Sprints. And on Wednesday at the Cajon Classic, I'm missing cars goes
Car
in there
show.
somewhere.
Cajon Classic Cruise.
Wednesday. From 3:30 or 4 to 7, a lot of us will be out there with our race cars,
You
including
gonna
some.
drag yours out there?
My crew is up for it, so that's why I need to get home from the show and start working more on my car. And I talked to some junior drivers who are going to be there. Jacob Novak is
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
there, and then his buddies Jacob and Nathan. They're all mini dwarf drivers, but I've been seeing in the comment section there'll be a variety of race cars out
Cool.
there. So come find us on Orange Street
Well,
from
I'll be
4
in
to
Santa
7.
Cruz, so I'll have
Okay.
to pass.
I'm talking to our
Shane Sexton will
Sexton's
be
gonna
out there
come
with
out.
his 410.
There's
sprint car.
definitely going to be a variety of Barona race cars
Yeah.
out there
Yeah, for
this
sure.
weekend. So families come out. If you're even by yourself and you're like, I got nothing to do and nobody to do it with, come join us.
Exactly.
Sure.
All right,
Come
let's
join.
take a quick break. You're listening to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks, welcome back to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
The segment's brought to you by Paris Auto Speedway. 18700 Lake Paris Road. That is one fast, scary track.
Scary fast.
But the spectators love it, and believe it or not, so do the drivers. They take such good care of that track. It is beautiful. The
Yes.
food's good. The
Yes.
view is good. The
Yes.
weather's great.
Yes.
And it faces the east, so you don't get that sunset in
To
your
back.
eyeballs.
Yeah.
They probably have one of the best bathrooms
Yeah, the bathroom.
do.
And
They're
they're so
clean.
in the
big.
pits. In the pits.
Yeah, well, yeah, both.
Oh.
Both. It's amazing.
And they serve sangria. What?
Yeah. Oh,
They
yeah,
serve
they do.
really good
They
food.
serve like Pink's hot dogs too.
Yes.
Yes, they do. I know. When
Oh,
they
yeah.
put pinks in
I
there.
go in the corner and eat them in private because it ain't pretty.
No.
Oh, please. So that is, by the way, anybody, Scott Delosio, nobody called in? Well, guess what, young lady?
Wow.
You
Amanda.
got another segment
Oh.
for Lady Amanda. So,
Pretty cool.
so now you're not,
Roberson.
so you're promoting and doing car chief and head bottle
Owner.
washer. What are you driving?
What do
When?
you mean? What are you driving?
What?
When
Or
is
when?
she-
Oh, I
Oh.
raced June 4th. I raced last
This
race.
is July.
Yeah, I
No.
raced
I mean,
last
August.
month.
Clint is racing it
Clint's
now.
driving it.
But I just said, when are you going to race it?
Okay.
I
again?
ran my one and done.
Oh, is that all it is?
Yeah, just ran
Did-
June.
Well, why? Did it scare you?
No, because so my boyfriend drove the first race because it was like our maiden voyage with the car all
So
put
you're
back
just
together.
decide where would be the best.
And I'm
to
like,
promote.
he's out of town in June. Clint said he'd take me racing. I'm like, okay, I'll run June. It ran great. The car was amazing. Like I went out there and didn't have to do much. And
So
the car,
you're not going through withdrawals like
I was
this
just
one?
No.
thinking that withdrawals
No,
was
you
a
know-
word in
This
my
one?
mind. Yeah, because I'm
it's
not
like
there
an
yet.
accomplished. It's like an accomplished
Oh,
feeling. Like
okay.
I mean, we've done it. We've raced every month before. When we ran Paris in 2019 for the championship, it was hard. And like I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have a crew. It's me
Yeah.
and like my boyfriend lives in Ventura, so he comes down on the weekends. I don't expect Clint to come over because
I see
it's
what
on
you're
me.
saying.
Like
Yeah.
if I
Got it.
want to race and if I can't do it on my own, like then why should we do it? So
Yeah.
it was a very accomplished feeling when I
But
won
you're
the
okay with
championship.
it.
So
Oh
okay.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But because I want people to come race, I want to be there and be like, okay, here's your parking spot. Like, how are you? What do you need to do? Like, what do you need? Like,
So
how-
basically, there was not a voice for your division.
no, there wasn't. There was not a voice.
And I mean, that's the polite way to say it.
correct. No, and it's completely polite. Like they've ran there. I think they ran there in 2019. There wasn't really a voice, and it was partially like it was hard for me to commit because we were running our half-mile car at Paris, and we could not go and tear it up at a quarter-mile track and for nothing. So I did run one race there in 2019, and it was nice, but no voice for the series.
See, and if you don't have a voice, It's so funny. I don't know if you ever heard of the NASA guys, their little imports.
Mm-hmm.
They used to run at Cajon Speedway.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a voice.
No.
And one of the, Tom McGrath was the announcer, and he was just bagging on him.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did it, but when they were going to turn 1, they put their turn signals on. And he was making fun of them because they were using their turn signals.
Yeah, so I mean, I tried.
So I ended up being the voice for him. I told Tom, I said, quit, you're not announcing them, I'll announce them.
Everybody should have a voice for their series because I think, like, if you don't have a voice, people don't know what to do. So, like, we have a super active social media page. Barona Speedway even has a super active social media
What
page.
is it? How would people find it?
Barona non-wing sprint cars.
Barona non-wing.
Maybe Barona Speedway non-wing sprint cars.
Let's
God,
look.
We'll
I'm
play
so
with it.
bad.
As we all pick up
Yeah,
our
put you on the
phones.
spot.
Yeah, no, put me on the spot. So it's super active, and like, and the track has been so supportive to have us back. Like, I mean, they're so great to work with,
But
and
isn't that track really improved?
it's so improved. And that, I mean, shoot, they were watering it last race like Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I mean, there was moisture in the track for practice, and that is so unheard of.
Yeah.
I did not make it out Saturday to the races, but I heard everything went really good.
It
Dave
did.
and I were there.
We were there.
Yeah.
We were there.
And I
We-
heard there had moisture all night long.
Yeah.
The modified guys didn't complain, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. And there was a lot of them.
Very
Yeah,
rare.
Find it? Okay.
Barona Speedway non-wing sprint cars. That's the Facebook page. Hit us up, and we
There are a
try
lot.
and stay pretty active just so people know what's going on. And we have Chris Mudd is our like kind of unofficial photographer, but he does all of our photos for us out at Barona Speedway. And
Was he out at practice?
yes,
A lot of people are asking about him.
Mud
Okay.
photo. Yeah, I think
Got
it's mud cam photo or something.
Barona Speedway, what?
And
Just tell
so
me. Yeah. Speedway, wing, non-wing.
oh, he's got his cell phone
Barona
out.
Speedway non-wing
gonna write
sprint
it
car.
So yeah, so I mean, it's just super cool. He gives me all the pictures to do. He goes around the pits and takes pictures,
Oh,
and then he
I
gives
already
me
like it.
No.
perfect, Dave.
Am I good or what?
It is good to have one focal spot, and then
Yeah.
you could say, "Hey, here's what's coming up. Here's what's after that. Start planning."
Yeah.
And we go in.
And we're still actively looking for like, I mean, businesses, local businesses that come out that want to come out and get their name recognized through all the social media platforms. Dirt Dude's really great. He announces all of our sponsors at
Yep.
the beginning of our
Mhm.
main event to just give them like
Well,
recognition.
Well,
it's
this is like when I said, if you come to KUSI,
yes.
I tell you to invite your sponsors.
Okay.
Whether they show up or not, that's their choice. But just the fact of the matter. And you don't finish the segment without mentioning all of your sponsors.
Correct.
So you got to get your little 3x5 card and get it laminated. And
I always forget somebody, and it's
that's
so
why
I feel so
tell
horrible.
you, get a 3x5 card. Don't we tell the little kids
yes.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
as a
they
matter
write
of
it down.
fact,
And some of them are way better than others. Now, if you're standing next to the race car, it doesn't hurt.
no,
Yeah.
it doesn't because, like I was
But
telling
see,
you
now
guys,
your car doesn't have any stickers on
no,
it.
no, no.
Now it
now
does.
it does.
Oh, the promo car
Now
does.
it does.
We've kind of made it the series car,
Yeah.
so it holds all like Trench Soaring, Cheers of Ramona, Bulldog, Jimmy Keys, the Keys Brothers Racing. We got a few on there. Rodella Fabrications on there.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, no, we try to make it so it's everyone gets recognition. And Chris Mudd actually he put up $300 for our August race, but October is going to be here soon, and I want to get some big names out there for our October race because, like I said, it's going to be $2,000 to win, maybe $125.
That means she has a question.
So how should they contact you?
Through the Facebook page.
Okay, contact
You know
her
what
through
the
the
Facebook
Facebook
page
page. And if you contact her soon enough, then your name will be out there for your KUSI segment.
Correct. And
So-
it gets put on all of our signboards. We do signboards 1st through 3rd and hard charger.
Any chance you have an open trailer?
I do have an open trailer.
People always tell me that a lot of people have the closed trailer.
We
Ooh,
take the car.
fancy.
We take the car to.
You're looking at your watch.
Yeah, because the boyfriend's thousands of miles away, and
You don't want to miss a little heart
and
emoji.
no, he's like,
Oh, he's
yeah.
sending you
Obviously, we need to take Bulldog towing to KUSI. Yes,
Ah.
obviously.
Obviously.
That can wait, Chris. No, just kidding.
No, obvious.
He's my biggest supporter, and he's been around it forever. He's raced
And you can bring
everything.
as many race cars to KUSI
and we
as
will.
you like.
We will. There's
Yeah.
plenty.
Well, you
Shane's all
said
about it.
We were restricted. I was restricted for the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
And I could only do one
One
car,
family. Yeah.
Well, even then, for the longest time, they wouldn't let me bring anybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So
for a while, we had to talk about virtual racing. Remember that, Dave?
the iRacing.
The iRacing. We had a few months of that. Oh, that was.
Oh.
Well,
That was a weird time.
Yeah.
But Verona was running.
They had 4.
Yeah.
Because I made it to 2 and then broke my foot. And
But
I was like,
they were nervous as
They were nervous,
Yeah.
but you know what? I was like, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
race in. I went out there for Labor Day and went out for the lightning sprints, and it was
Yeah.
fun. But it was cool.
Yeah. Oh no. And they do such a good job. They
And that
really
snack
do.
bar at Verona is amazing.
Yeah, and you probably live close there too. Don't you?
Nachos.
7 to 12 minutes, depending on if I have the
7 to
trailer.
12. That was my commute to work. 7 to 12, depending on red light.
So for the
but,
races,
yeah.
we bring an enclosed trailer because
Oh.
we'll leave the car and trailer
Oh,
there
okay.
at practice. But I do have an open
nice.
trailer.
I only brought that up because all my sponsors are still seeing because I have an open trailer.
The
I
open
don't
trailer is
have to-
awesome. We
yeah.
actually have a single axle, like little vintage style open trailer that my boyfriend's all geeked out about, and it's super cool because I love the open trailers. Like it is how racers used to get to the track.
Well, sure,
Yes.
and that's how people get to know. It's kind of
Who-
like follow
what
me
you are.
to Verona type thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I know it's so cool that, starting about noon, if you drive around Lakeside,
Oh, you start seeing all the
Oh,
cars.
yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
yes.
they start heading up the
Absolutely.
hill.
Being in
Yep.
Ramona, you see them down Main Street
Oh,
because
that's
they come up
cool.
78, go to
Yeah.
Main Street, go to
Yeah.
Staters, get their ice and beer.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then off they go to the track.
Yeah.
It's
And listeners, if you're a fan, a spectator, you can approach us, at the gas
Oh,
station.
yeah.
I'm most approached at a gas station.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when
Hey,
we
what
were
are you doing?
What
going
are you
to-
doing? What is that? That is the funniest looking dune buggy ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they say, "Does your boyfriend drive?"
Well, it says Brittany on the front. It says Amanda on it.
No name on the car.
No name on this car. Well, like I said, it's such a good time,
It
for the
is.
family to go out. And I don't care. I think they should support Paris, Verona,
Ventura.
Ventura,
Yeah.
all of them.
Santa Maria,
Santa
because it stayed
Maria.
open.
Bakersfield.
Yeah, I want to
Bakers-
try Bakersfield and Kern County. Have you?
Kern.
That might be where a few of us are going
Kern?
for dwarfs. Kern, haven't
That
been
sounds
there.
fun. I haven't been there either, but Tyler raced there.
Do we know the size?
I don't know.
Small.
We'll have to ask Tyler Hatzikian when he's
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
He's
'cause
calling
he's going
in
to be
soon.
calling in here in about
I want to
3
know,
minutes.
Tyler, if you're listening, I want a little
Yeah,
411 on Kern.
He ran 2 nights there. They did like a sprint car shootout, and I think he made the A the first night with all the USAC guys.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah, and his little 360.
Little 360. The little 360 that could.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and we'll talk to him about it too, because what's the big difference between a 360 and a 410? Just the engine size or the size of the car?
Aluminum block, and the 410s. About 300-400 more horsepower in the 410.
Okay.
That's all.
That's all.
Well, depending on the size of the track, it could be good and it could be
It
wasted.
could be.
Yeah,
That's why we've made the Verona series an open competition because
Oh.
the 360s they range 600-700 horsepower. The 410s are like 900 horsepower hooked up.
My God.
We don't need that much horsepower on a
Yeah.
quarter mile track.
Yeah.
Especially if it's dry, slick, quarter mile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
With not much bank.
No, not much bank. Although it is getting moist. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping one day, I'm praying to the water gods and the tractor gods.
Oh.
Can we please get 2 lines out there? We will get
I
2
know,
lines.
right?
They just broke it to us. We're wheel packing next race. So the sprint car guys, we are stoked. Like, let's go
Ah.
wheel pack this in and let's push that berm up to the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
But sorry, anybody and everyone in San Diego, there will not be rain for 5 more months because my rain gutters just went up. So sorry.
And
Thanks
they're
a
not
lot.
and they're not dry yet.
Yeah.
It just had to paint them. You watch, it'll pour tomorrow.
I hope so. I want it to because
You
I
just-
race this weekend and I've got gutters, but it's just not going to happen.
That's amazing. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a quick break.
More
And
time for Tyler.
More time for Tyler right here on Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, so who's our guest now,
Amanda's
Amanda?
going to introduce.
Tyler Hatzikian.
Hey, Tyler, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, think nothing of it. This has been the Amanda show, and we're glad to have you on board.
Yeah.
So I hear you're coming to Verona.
Yeah, I've done a couple races so far this year with Amanda's show there, and gosh, I've had a blast. Love the track. Really cool setting. First time to actually race outside of either Paris or Ventura. So had a good time and enjoy the crowd, and the setting's amazing. You know, the different elevations in the pits and the stands. It's really an awesome track.
And coolers in the stands.
Did you say Ventura and Paris, like polar opposites in size?
Opposites.
Wow.
He only races at Ventura so he can surf in the morning.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, see, one track he gets dizzy, and the other track he throws up.
Do you have a preference?
Exactly.
Or do you have a preference on them?
You know, I love both of them equally, probably. I mean, Ventura is the first place I actually got to race. I started Corey Kruseman's sprint car driving school there at Ventura.
I hear Brittany's going to go up and run a school with Corey.
I'm working on it.
So, and you know, being a surfer and the history at that point right there, Surfer's Point, is it's kind of the best of both worlds for me.
Yeah, I bet.
Tyler's a surfboard shaper on this.
Are you really?
Yeah.
So Tyler, have you ever come to Wavecrest down in Encinitas? Because some of the vintage shapers, guy by the name of last name Smith.
Smith.
I can't think of his first name. He's old as dirt, and he still shapes.
You're talking about the Wavecrest Woody meet?
Yep.
Yeah. So I had a 41 Ford Woody. It's been 20 years now. I sold it to put it down on a house, but I had a 41 Ford Woody that I got to the point where it was just needed paint. I did all the woodwork on it, and I was going to make Wavecrest one year, but never made it. But I went there as a spectator, not as a participant.
Yeah. So going back into circles again, how long have you been racing?
Yeah. So I have just last July 17th was my 4-year anniversary of actually the first time I raced sprint car. I raced it all, actually. So I started half season 2017 at Ventura and with the seniors, and I was renting from Corey Kruseman, and then the next year I ended up buying a car and running my whole operation. So I've had a couple ups and downs, but I have with COVID and everything, I probably have about 3 solid years of racing.
Okay, so
and I've had some decent luck, and I've had some tumbles too.
Yeah. Well, let me make sure I understand this. You've been racing 4 years, but you're in the senior division.
So
I'm relating.
So I've been a fan of sprint cars since I was 7 years old.
Okay.
I grew up in the South Bay, so every Saturday night I grew up at Ascot, Turn 1 kid, and
laying in the dirt.
I was always on the other side of the fence, you know, rolling up my program and handing it through the fence to the drivers and getting autographs before the main event. And it's kind of crazy that now I'm on the other side of the fence doing what I've always dreamed about doing since I was a little kid. So I still consider myself more of a fan than a really, you know, a driver, although that everybody's, you know, taken me in and accepted me as, you know, a driver. But I still relate more to the fans, and that's why you know, for me, getting into the sport so late, I bring a lot of people out to the track. I try to share the experience that I had, the love that I have for the sport, and you know, whatever I can do to get them out there. You know, I tell the people in the stands, you know, hey, if you don't recognize somebody looks like they're new to this, you know, to the sport, you know, they show up for the first time, go over and say hello and welcome them.
That's awesome.
And it's not just our job as drivers to put on a show and to keep the sport going, but as fans, you know, it's their job to also welcome other people into it as fans to keep things rolling here.
Without a shadow of a doubt. So how old are you now?
So I'll be 50, and I'm 49 right now, 50 in January.
Okay, so Brittany.
I'm grinning ear to ear.
Brittany, who races a dwarf car, she's also a school teacher, and she's what, 40-something years old?
I'm 48, but I
48 years old, and you've only been racing how long?
Yeah, I just started at 42 as well, and I'm a big advocate that you're never too late. And I think we parallel in that passion.
Hey, and
Follow your passion.
And
you're never
she
too
just
late.
got power steering, so she's happier than a clam.
Do sprint cars have power steering?
She couldn't weigh. She couldn't weigh more than 130 pounds, dripping wet.
122. I went to the doctor on Friday.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, so you must be pretty toned in the arms now.
She's got guns, dude. She's got guns.
I love what he's saying, because you really aren't too late. It's never too late to try something, but also helping even the fans appreciate it more
and understand.
Yeah, that's part of why I want to be at the car show on Wednesday. I'm going to race on Saturday, but Wednesday I want to be a part of that car show just to promote the sport, the sportsmanship. All the lessons you can learn on the track and pass on.
Right.
I like.
Yeah, we
actually.
Tyler's a good guy.
Tyler's a good guy.
Tyler.
What number is Tyler, so we know who to watch for?
27.
Color scheme?
27.
So Tyler has really cool cars. So he grew up at Ascot, right?
Yeah.
So his 2 cars are like tributes to old vintage sprint cars.
Goosebumps.
So
He must have their autograph too.
Oh, probably. One of them is like an old red. They call it the Brahmi car. Not raced out of Ascot. And then he has the very famous Tamale Wagon tribute car.
Really?
So it is actually called the Tyler Surf Wagon.
Yeah, so all the cars relate to the very first race I ever saw was won by Rick Gowdy at Ascot in the Tamale Wagon. So it's a tribute to kind of my childhood, my very first race car hero. And then after that, Dean Thompson was my hero forever. And that's where, I built the red car to kind of pay homage to that.
That's so cool.
Super cool.
Yeah. And I think being a senior, it kind of tells a story to also pass on the history. I mean,
yeah,
it's you don't always get that, when you come to the races. I mean, you get the state of the art, the latest stuff, but I think the background and the stories, and the history, is also really important to understand. As a fan.
Yeah. Well, I got a book for you to find, and it's like, I don't know if you know Harold Osmer.
Harold Osmer.
Yeah, he's a big time racer, and he just wrote a book called "Where They Raced Turn 3," and it's all the tracks in Southern California, from Ascot to Corona, and you would love it. You would absolutely love this book. I'll have Amanda send me your contact info, and then I'll send you information on the book, and you will absolutely love it, because it's the history of dirt racing, basically, in Southern California from the 20s to today.
Super cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I've had stacks of programs since I was a little kid. I'd cut out programs and make scrapbooks, and actually my mom sent me one that she found, which was really crazy back when I was, before I was even 10 years old. But I love all that old stuff, and I kind of a little bit of a history
buff
going back. So my last name Hatzikian's Armenian, so my grandfather grew up in the West Adams area of LA, and he was a motorcycle guy, and that was in the wartime, so pre-war, post-war, and he actually grew up and was actually good friends with Ed Escuderian's brother Luther, which I got to mention to Ed at his 100th birthday party.
Cool.
Can you believe that guy is 100 years old?
No.
I ran into him at a Ford event. He walked by me, and I went, "Ed? Oh, hey, Dave." I go, "What the heck are you doing?" He says, "Getting ready to be 100." He is so cool.
He's amazing. I mean, there's 70-year-olds that don't look as good as Ed does.
I know. It's just he's just such a star. Well, I tell you what. So you're going to are you coming to Verona next weekend, right?
Maybe, right?
I'm shooting for it. Right now, I'm leading points at Paris.
Yes, he is.
So I've got some motor issues I'm really trying to work out. But at the very least, I'm hoping to be there to support Amanda and help her where she needs me. But I made the last couple races, and the really cool thing about Amanda and how she's putting this on is, she's really serious about putting on a good show. She talked to us before the race and, says, everybody's going home with money. Let's go out and put a good show on. Let's not tear each other up. Let's just race hard. And that was really a cool drivers meeting to hear her say that. And I think she has a good outlook on how to, expand and create these different venues for us to enjoy sprint car.
Well, hey, she already hit me up for $50, and she's only been on the show an hour.
I was like within the first 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, well, she's a salesperson, man. She could sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo. Are you kidding?
Yeah, and she finished ahead of me. She beat me in the last race.
Atta girl.
And that's what. Oh, so that's why she said I'm run and done.
Real too.
She says now I
I've
don't need to run anymore. I did what I needed to do.
That's all I needed.
That's brutal.
Tyler brings a gaggle with him to the track too. So I mean, between his sponsors and the fans,
who are your sponsors? We only have seconds here.
So with my surfing background, I've been able to leverage some of the surfing angle stuff, being pro surfer and surfboard builder. In my local town of El Segundo, I've got howsawaytoday.com, RBH Insulation, Zarp Excavation, SP Beagle Plumbing, Rick's Gateworks, ZMAX Racing Oil, and BRC Bear Racing Engines.
Hey, well, if you ever get to San Diego with your race car, I would love to put you on KUSI #1 Watch Morning Show in San Diego. Your sponsors will love it.
I appreciate that very much.
All right, buddy. Hey, be safe.
Thank you.
Surf's down, so go watch TV, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hope to meet you Saturday.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right, folks. Amanda, you're the best. Thanks for coming in. You're always welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Hope to get you back in soon. We got to go now because Gun Owners Radio is right around the corner.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.